What's up, YouTube? Today we're going to be looking at Noico 150, thanks Mom, Noico 150 and 80mm sound deadening mat. We'll be examining the ability to reduce sound resonance by placing the various layers such as recommended in the directions. The first layer of 80mm sound deadener and then the second layer of 150mm sound deadener. We'll be doing that while testing the decibel resonance by slightly tapping on the side without the sound mat to see how much that sound mat slows down, reduces the decibel level using a friendly free app on our iPhone. This is a 6x18 piece of 16 gauge sheet metal. Much smaller than, but the same gauge as most of your Jeep Cherokees and or any of your older vehicles before the aluminum monocoque body age that has begun now. And so we're going to be producing consistent sound results by using a scissor, hinging it on my finger, using gravity to produce consistent swings and results. Laws of physics, I don't know. So I'm going to be holding it at 90 degrees from the top and the back here. So for your angle here, I'll hold it back. So we're going to do 3 hits with the decibel meter running, and we'll see what those 3 hits produce. Bass metal test. So those 3 produced an average of 102 on their max levels. That's pretty high. Let's see if the first level of just the 80mm sound deadener will change that. Now the 80mm sound deadener is a much thinner but thicker material than the 150mm, and we'll be using this sheet Now to ensure a proper application and bond between the metal test and the first layer, we're going to be using a roller. These are on Amazon and they're highly recommended. Once you have all the diamonds flattened out, you can still see them, but you can't feel them. That's how you know you've got a proper bond. Let's put it back in the rig and test this one. Now with the sheet metal clamped back into the vise, nice and firm, we're going to do another 3 swings of the scissor to test how much, I don't want the 3 triangles. We're going to test how much decibel reduction, if any, there is. So, reset. Well, I don't know if you could hear, but that was an audibly massive difference, and up on the results, the average is 13 points lower, and the max is 14 points lower, or 20 points lower, 82 decibels instead of 102. With results that strong, I am very surprised. I was not expecting something that immediate and that fast, but I say we keep this test going and see what that second layer will do for us. To give you a visual aid of just how different 80 and 150mm thickness is, these are quite substantially different, although this 150mm is probably 1/3 the weight of the 80mm, so a much denser material. Nonetheless, we're going to be seeing if this can help reduce that 20 decibel difference to something way lower. We're only going to find out. So, first things first is to cut this to size. Use an X-Acto knife. Peel the backing paper off to reveal the red adhesive. Line up your material and in a very similar fashion, but be a lot more careful with this one. There are no diamonds to press out. You simply have to press the adhesive down long enough to activate it, and you don't want to damage the material as this foam is a lot softer than the metal of the first layer. But once you think you've gone over everything 5 or 6 times, you'll have a good adhesion. Alright, let's put this thing back in the clamp and see what the results are. We have both layers installed, so now using our very scientific method of swinging scissors, we're going to restart our decibel meter and see what the results are. Now, using our very scientific method of swinging scissors, we're going to restart the decibel meter and see what the results are. I forgot to press start. That was a very interesting result. We had an initial decibel reading of 100 at max from swinging the scissor into just the 16 gauge sheet metal. Our second test with just the 80 mil first base layer resulted in a 20 decibel reduction to an average of 82, and our third test with both layer 80 mil and 150 mil and the sheet metal reduced that reduction back to 90 on average. Now, there's a couple of reasons why that may have been. And I think the largest reason was that the energy through the swinging scissor met a greater impact on the thicker, double-layered insulation than it did on the single layer. The single layer, I think, may have given way, absorbed a lot of that energy, but still moved a bit. I think the rigidity with the dew layers faced a lot more and thus produced a larger sound. But I think that produced a larger sound because it ate that energy. Or not, I could be wrong. I'm not a scientist. But I thought this was a very interesting test, and I hope it helps you decide whether or not you want to buy some Noico sound insulation for your Jeep Cherokee or any vehicle really. I think the noise quality is far superior than it was before in my Jeep Cherokee driving around. But that's for you to decide. Thanks for coming along. Like, subscribe, comment, and you know, if this video gets 25 likes, I'll do how many layers of insulation does it take to stop a bullet. Remember, if some guy can do it, what's up YouTube? Today we're going to be working with Noico 100. Noico 100.